No, listen to me, ladies. I ain't gon' sugarcoat this. We grown, right? So let's have a grown folks conversation. See, there's a moment, an intimate, powerful moment, where a man ain't just close to your body, he close to your soul. And what you say in that moment, it can make him feel like he just touched heaven, or like he just had another night with someone forgettable. Let me tell you something. A real woman knows that the bedroom ain't just for pleasure, it's where power is exchanged. So today, I'm gonna teach you what to say and why it works so deep in his mind. No other woman can touch the place you already live in. 'Cause when you speak to a man's spirit while he's inside your body, woo, girl, he's yours forever. Ladies, let me tell you something most women never get told. If you really want to get in a man's heart and make him never forget you, it ain't about how your body looks. It's about how you make him feel when he's with you, especially in those moments when things get real close, real physical, and real vulnerable. See, a lot of women think men are just wired for sex, like it's only about release, about touching and feeling. But the truth is, the right words spoken at the right time can do something to a man's spirit that no beauty ever could. When you're in that moment with him, when he's inside you, when y'all connected physically, you got an opportunity most women waste. That moment is powerful. His mind is open, his guard is down, and whether he admits it or not, he's searching for something deeper than just the act. A man might not know how to say it, but what he craves in that moment is to feel accepted, needed, respected, and appreciated. He wants to feel like he's not just pleasing you, but that he's pleasing someone who sees the real him. When you speak to him right, not from lust, but from love, from understanding, from intention, that man will never forget it. See, men get praise in their careers, they get respect in the streets, but they rarely get emotional recognition in the bedroom. So when you take that moment and say something that touches his soul, you're not just giving him pleasure, you're giving him peace. And peace, baby, that's the most addictive thing to a man. When he's with you, and you whisper something like, I feel so safe with you, or you make me feel like I belong, or even, nobody's ever touched me like this, inside and out. You ain't just turning him on. You turning on his loyalty switch. You're planting roots in his spirit. And that kind of woman, she don't have to compete with other women, because other women can't even speak the same language. You ain't speaking body, you're speaking soul. And when a man feels that, he stops looking around. He stops wondering if the grass is greener because you just became his home. Don't underestimate what your voice can do. Don't waste those sacred moments being silent, or worse, saying what you think he wants to hear. This ain't about performing. This ain't about saying something raunchy just for the sake of ego. This is about reaching deep and pulling out something that shows him, I see you. I feel you. I honor you. And when you do that, he starts seeing you different. He starts looking at you like, this woman ain't just sex. This woman is my sanity. This woman understands me in ways even I don't understand myself. That's where the shift happens. That's when a man starts making decisions with you in mind. when you ain't just in his bed, you're in his future. Now I know some of y'all thinking, Steve, ain't that too deep for sex? Nah, baby, that's exactly what's missing. That depth, that intention, that divine connection. We live in a world where everybody rushing into bed, but nobody making it meaningful. And then we wonder why people feel empty afterward. You want to stand out. You want to make him obsessed with you in the right way. Speak into him. Speak truth. Speak emotion. Let him feel something during intimacy that no one else ever gave him. A moment of emotional elevation. That's rare. That's powerful. That's unforgettable. And you ain't gotta do it with no script. You just gotta be real. You just gotta look at him, hold him, and say what's true in your heart. It could be something simple, like, I trust you with me, or being this close to you makes me feel whole. It could be something spiritual, something grateful, something profound. Just make it real. Make it yours. Because when you say it from the soul, it sticks in his soul. And that's how you make sure no other woman even compares. A man can be praised by the world and still feel empty inside if the woman he loves doesn't make him feel like he matters. That's the truth most people don't want to talk about. You want to know how to keep a man coming back to you, loving you harder, being loyal to you in ways that confuse the rest of the world. Affirm his masculinity in a way no one else does. That don't mean you gotta flatter his ego with fake compliments or baby his insecurities. It means speak directly to the man in him, the protector, the provider, the dreamer, the leader, the vulnerable soul behind all that strength. That part of him that rarely gets seen and even more rarely gets appreciated. See, a man can go through his whole day battling the world, bosses, pressure, expectations, responsibilities. The world constantly tells him to be strong, to suck it up, to push through, to not feel. So when he comes to you, especially in those most intimate moments, he doesn't need more judgment. He doesn't need more coldness. He needs to feel like he's enough. And when you tell him that in the middle of your most vulnerable connection, when he's inside you, when his guard is down, you're not just making him feel good, you're making him feel seen. You're letting him know, I see your effort, I see your strength, and I honor what you bring into my life. When you say something like, you make me feel protected, or I feel like a woman when I'm with you, you ain't just feeding his ego, you're speaking to a deep, masculine hunger that every man has, but rarely talks about, because the truth is every man wants to feel needed. Not in a clingy, helpless way, but in a way that says, your presence in my life changes how I feel about myself. That kind of validation doesn't come from beauty or sex. It comes from words that make him feel like a king. And once a man feels like a king in your presence, he ain't looking for peasant attention outside your relationship. Too many women try to manipulate a man with sex, thinking that's what keeps him. But sex is everywhere. Validation, real validation, that's rare. That's priceless. That's what separates a woman he sleeps with from a woman he builds with. Because when you affirm him with love, with softness, and with reverence, you give him the one thing no other woman can replace: emotional significance. You become his peace, not his pressure. And when a man finds peace in you, he don't risk that peace for nothing. Not a fantasy, not a fling, not even a temptation. Why? Because peace is sacred, and loyalty lives where peace is protected. It's not about performing or putting on some act to make him feel good. It's about tapping into your own femininity and recognizing the value you bring by simply appreciating the man he is, not just the things he does. A man doesn't just want to be desired for his body. He wants to be respected for his efforts, his mind, his decisions, and yes, even his flaws. When you can look at him during intimacy and say, "I love the way you handle me," or "I respect how you take care of us," that goes straight to his heart. It ain't lust anymore, it's love, it's recognition. And when a man feels recognized, he becomes more generous, more protective, and more invested. This kind of affirmation makes a man show up differently. He walks taller, loves harder, stays focused. Because now, it's not just about pleasing you in bed. It's about protecting the bond he feels with you. It becomes spiritual, intimate, exclusive. The kind of connection no outside woman can compete with because they don't even know how to reach that part of him. You already got the key, and all it takes is your words, your presence, your ability to make him feel like more of a man when he's with you. So don't ever underestimate the power of your voice. Not your tone, not your volume, but the meaning behind what you say. A man will never forget the woman who made him feel strong, worthy, and masculine, even when the world tried to strip that away. That's how you keep him coming home to you. That's how you make him proud to say, "That's my woman." And that's how you make sure no other woman ever comes close to replacing you. When you're in that deeply vulnerable space with a man, body to body, skin to skin, what you say can either open his heart or close it for good. And one of the most powerful things you can do in that moment is speak vision. Speak a future. Speak security. Because it's not just about the act. It's about what the act means. So many women give their bodies to men who have no clue what their heart sounds like. But the game changes when you're not just showing up physically, you're showing up emotionally and spiritually too. And when you speak to a man with love, clarity, and calm in that intimate moment, letting him know he's chosen, not just wanted, it activates something in him that's stronger than lust. It awakens loyalty. A man can be with 100 women who make him feel desired for a night, but one woman who makes him feel safe for a lifetime will shift everything. And safety doesn't mean you're fixing him. It doesn't mean you're accepting his mistakes blindly or becoming his therapist. It means you create a space where he doesn't have to perform, where he can lay down the weight he's been carrying and be real. And that's especially powerful when it happens during sex, because in that moment, when his body is connected to yours, when his emotions are raw and his guard is down, your words carry more weight than any other time. Imagine looking a man in his eyes while he's inside you and saying, "You don't have to be perfect. I just need you to be real with me." Or telling him, "You're enough for me, just as you are." Or even, "I see where we're going together. I'm not just here for now. I'm here for what we can build." Those aren't just sweet nothings. Those are soul declarations. That kind of talk makes a man see you not just as someone he sleeps with, but as someone he builds with, dreams with, and grows with. Because most women don't talk about forever during passion. They talk about pleasure. But the woman who talks about purpose, she becomes unforgettable. Men are not used to emotional grounding during sex. They're used to noise, to rhythm, to surface level passion. But when a woman brings him into stillness, just for a second, to let him feel safe, appreciated, and chosen, it hits him different, and he'll associate that feeling with you. You don't just become a moment in time, you become a memory that lives in him. A woman who says, "I'm here with you. I believe in you. I trust where this is going," is telling a man that he's not alone, and that makes him hold you tighter, not just in bed, but in life. See, a man wants to feel like his efforts are being noticed, but deeper than that, he wants to feel that his future has direction, with someone who understands the road. When you're in that vulnerable moment, and you give him vision, not pressure, not demands, but pure belief, it tells him you're not just using this time for your pleasure, you're anchoring something sacred. That changes how he shows up. That makes him think twice before entertaining another woman, because the kind of peace and clarity you offer in that intimate space is not something he's going to risk for a cheap thrill. Letting him know you see a future with him doesn't mean you're begging for a ring or forcing commitment. It just means you're emotionally available and spiritually tuned in. You're letting him know, "I'm not here to drain you. I'm here to grow with you." And that statement, spoken softly during a moment of physical closeness, has the power to plant seeds in a man's soul that blossom over time. Suddenly, the intimacy isn't just about passion, it becomes about partnership. He starts seeing you in his plans, hearing your voice in his decisions, picturing your support when life gets heavy. Most women never speak like that in the bedroom. They hold back, afraid of sounding too deep or too attached. But the truth is, men crave that depth. They crave being chosen by someone who's not just in love with their body, but in alignment with their purpose. When you give him that kind of connection, you elevate the experience from lust to loyalty. You teach him that what you two have is sacred, and sacred things aren't replaceable. So the next time you're in that moment, don't be afraid to say what your heart is feeling. Let him know he's not just someone you enjoy now, he's someone you envision later. Let him know his presence brings you peace, that being with him feels right, that you trust where this is going. Because when a man hears that during the most vulnerable moment, he don't just want to stay for the night, he starts planning how to keep you for a lifetime. Most people think intimacy is all about the body, what you wear, how you move, what you do. But that's only the surface. The real power in intimacy comes from meaning. When you're with a man physically, yes, he feels your body, but what stays with him after that moment is how you made him feel emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. That's what lingers. That's what makes him come back. That's what makes other women irrelevant in his eyes. Because when you connect sex to meaning, you create an experience that no fantasy can compete with. A man can sleep with 100 women, but if none of those encounters carry any emotional weight. They all blend together. It becomes noise, temporary highs, forgotten moments. But one woman, who ties her intimacy to intention, who turns passion into purpose, becomes unforgettable. When a man feels like he's not just having sex, but he's stepping into something sacred, something rooted, something spiritual, he attaches that memory to you differently. He remembers how it made him feel, how it slowed him down, how it grounded him, and that feeling is addictive. Too often, people treat sex like a transaction, a pleasure trade. You give, he gives, and then it's over. But the woman who understands that her energy, her voice, her emotions, and her words can transform that moment into something bigger, that's the woman who makes an impact. Imagine being in the middle of the most intimate moment, and instead of going through the motions, you lean into him, hold him close, and say something like, "I don't just want you. I value what we're creating." Or, "This means something deeper to me than just now. I see you." That right there hits him harder than anything else, because it tells him that you're not just present physically, you're present emotionally. You're not just opening your body, you're opening your heart. And that scares a weak man, but it awakens the right one. He starts associating your touch with healing. He starts connecting your words with stability. He starts to realize, this woman isn't here to impress me. She's here to inspire me. And when that realization sets in, he stops chasing temporary pleasure. He starts protecting permanent connection. He starts seeing you not as a lover, but as a partner in life, a force, a safe space. Most women don't do this because they've never been told how much power they hold. They've been told sex is either something to give or something to guard, but never something to guide with. But let me tell you something, when you treat intimacy like a vehicle for emotional honesty, you unlock a whole new level of connection. Your body becomes a language. Your words become sacred. Your energy becomes unforgettable. And when a man experiences that, he's not just thinking about you when he's lonely. He's thinking about you when he's planning, when he's building, when he's dreaming. You don't have to fake anything. You don't have to perform. All you have to do is be intentional, be present, be true. Let your words carry meaning, even in the heat of passion. Say what's real. If you feel proud of him, say it. If you feel at peace in his arms, tell him. If you feel safe, grateful, or even emotional, don't hide it. That's the beauty of intimacy. It allows the deepest parts of you to come to the surface without shame. And when you do that, you make the moment unforgettable. A woman who attaches meaning to physical connection doesn't have to beg for loyalty. She doesn't have to play games or compete, because she already gave him something the world can't offer: depth. Men don't cheat because they find someone better. They cheat because they forget what depth feels like. But when a man feels the weight of your truth, the purity of your presence, the sacredness of your love, he don't gamble with that. He don't chase after shallow when he's tasted soul. So the next time you're with him, remember that it's more than just a moment. It's a message. What do you want him to feel? What do you want him to remember? What do you want to leave in his spirit long after the night ends? Choose words that hold weight. Touch him with love. Look into his eyes with intention. That's how you turn intimacy into impact. That's how you make sure he never looks anywhere else. Because no one else can reach him where you already live.